Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers report, are the Niners on upset alert against the Green Bay Packers? Can San Francisco stop Jordan Love, who's been playing tremendous football over the last couple of months? And we'll also take a look at the Brock Purdy Jordan Love matchup going into this divisional round matchup against Green Bay, which is set for Saturday night at Levi Stadium. First, if you're confident that San-FRAN-CISCO is going to take down the Green Bay Packers, making it 5 in a row against the Packers in the playoffs, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And with that, let's talk some Niners here on this beautiful Monday. So last night when we did our Packers-Niners preview for the divisional round, we did not know when the game was going to take place because we had to wait till the end of that Rams-Lions game. And after Detroit able to pull out a thrilling win over Los Angeles to knock the Rams out, Detroit is going to stay at home. They're going to face the winner of the Philadelphia Eagles-Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup on Sunday. So now we know that San Francisco, after the Packers shocked and stunned the Dallas Cowboys, will host Green Bay at Levi Stadium. Good job by the Niners, obviously, to get that number 1 seed, and they're going to be well rested going into this game on Saturday. Kickoff set for 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:15 out in California where this game is going to be played. The over-under for this game, pretty high at 50.5. And all of the sports books that I've looked at, they have the Niners as 10-point favorites in this ball game. Some sports books have the Niners as low as 9.5-point favorites. But what does this betting line say? Obviously, the Niners, big favorites in this game by 2 scores, and they should be. Loaded roster, one of the most talented teams in the NFL that we've seen in recent memory. Some of the most talented players on this roster going all the way back to those mid to early 90s Niners teams when they had that dynastic run. And San Francisco is only going to lose this game if they shoot themselves in the foot and make mistakes that are self-inflicted wounds. But the odds makers are expecting a lot of points in this game with that over-under at 50.5. And this Packers offense, with the way that they've been clicking, with how Jordan Love has been slinging it, with their ability to run it, and having all of the weapons that they do have at wide receiver and tight end, they've grabbed everybody's attention here. Here's why the Packers are dangerous, and here's why some people believe that the 49ers are on upset alert. Jordan Love has been slinging it. Pocket maneuverability, pocket feel. He can manipulate the pocket. He can extend plays with his legs and wait until the last moment to take a hit and make a throw downfield. Also really impressive against the Cowboys and throughout his short career, first full season as a starter this year in 2023, how he can drop down to multiple arm angles. And when he does throw the football, Packers are loaded at wide receiver with a lot of young players who not a lot of people know who they are, but they're talented cats. And in their tight end group, they're about 3 deep there as well, led by Luke Musgrave, who had a good game against Dallas on Sunday. That's through the air, right? On the ground, Aaron Jones got paid a couple of years ago. He's been injured a lot. And to start this year, he struggled a bit. But over the last month, he's been playing good football of late as well and had a hat trick against that Dallas defense that came in as one of the best defenses in the game. The Packers secondary, it's skilled and it's deep. So many teams across the NFL have a failure to get depth at secondary and high-end talent. Seems as though the Packers have multiple top-tier corners who can all play 2 interceptions of Dak Prescott in the wild card round. And what's also dangerous about this team, they are young, they are confident, and they are fearless. The combination of that is a scary combination because they know they have nothing to lose, and the pressure is not on Green Bay going into this game against the 49ers, and the pressure was not on Green Bay against the Cowboys either. They're playing with their poker chips right now, and I don't think that this game is going to be easy against the Packers. This is also a well-coached team with a creative offensive mind in Matt LaFleur. But why I think San Francisco does have the advantage in this game and why I think they're going to win, as I think this game will be decided at some point in the fourth quarter, the Niners are the number 1 seed for a reason. You have home field advantage. And now this young, inexperienced Packers team has to travel to Dallas, has to travel to San Francisco, and can they knock off in consecutive weeks the number 2 seed and the number 1 seed? That would be improbable. The 49ers also have the talent edge, an incredible roster on both sides of the football. Kyle Shanahan, his game planning, play designs, play calling, should be able to expose Joe Barry, Packers defensive coordinator, who as recently as a month and change ago, his defense struggled against Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants, and people were calling for his job about a month ago as well, saying he has to get fired. Matt LaFleur sticks with them, and he's been able to make some adjustments, and they did a good job in halting that Cowboys offensive attack. The 49ers are also a better team than the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers in Week 5 put the beat down on the Cowboys, beat the brakes off of Dallas, 42-10. So the same team that the Packers dominated, the 49ers also dominated that team as well. And San Francisco defensively has the dogs to stop Jordan Love. You get a pass rush, you let that secondary eat, you have a great linebacking core. That's a recipe to stop this Packers offense, which has been humming of late. My concerns with this Niners team, though, pass protection with Colton McKivitz against a solid Green Bay defensive line. The kicking game with Jake Moody. If it comes down to a big kick, is he going to be able to come through in a clutch spot? The lack of cornerback depth for San Francisco. I like the starting 3, which are Various Ward, Deommodore Lenoir, and Ambry Thomas. But after that, against a deep Packers receiving core, you have some concerns there. The 49ers have had an inability to play from behind, and as of right now, could be rain in the forecast. And we know that Brock Purdy struggles to grip and throw the football in these rainy conditions. And Jordan Love, he plays at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Inclement weather all the time, also has a really strong arm. All that being said, Green Bay, you're well ahead of schedule. Brian Gutekunst, their general manager, has done a great job drafting, developing, identifying talent, and they are better than anybody anticipated right now after moving off of Aaron Rodgers. But that playoff inexperience is something that the Niners do not have, and there's levels to this Green Bay Packers. So with that, I ask you this, who you got? I gave you my score prediction in our preview yesterday. Type SF for the Niners, GB for the Green Bay Packers. Once more, join the conversation down in the comment section. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, by the way. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. Largest daily fantasy sports app in North America, and it's daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players, and you choose more or less on their projected stat lines. The Bills-Steelers game is going on as we record this right now, so I'm actually going to give you some picks for Monday Night Football between Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. I think the Eagles are going to run it a lot. DeAndre Swift, more than 15 rushing attempts. Dallas Goedert, without A.J. Brown, I think he gets targeted a lot. More than 39.5 receiving yards. Devontae Smith, now the Eagles' number 1 without Brown. More than 49.5 receiving yards. And Baker Mayfield against this awful Eagles secondary, more than 236.5 passing yards. So you pick 2 or more players. In this instance, I picked 4. You don't have to get all 4 right. You can choose that option where you can go 2 of 4, 3 of 4, but you have the opportunity to win real money like producer Chip and I have been able to do all throughout the year, as you've seen right here on the Niners Report. $100 deposit match. Use that link in that promo code. Next up on the show, can the San Francisco 49ers stop Jordan Love? He has made some really impressive strides this season, and his in-season development, stark contrast from where he started the year compared to where he ended it. The Packers as a team began the 2023 season at 2-5, and they were really battling to get back to 500. They got back to 500. They lost a couple of games late in the season, and then they rattled off 3 consecutive wins at the end of the regular season to get into the playoffs with 9 wins. So they started 2-5, but this is a Packers team that is 8-3 since. And over Love's last 10 games, he's really turned the corner. Early in the year, not a lot of people thought that he had the makings of a franchise quarterback. It looks as though right now he does. Arm strength, mobility, improvising, pocket feel, pocket mobility, being able to kind of exhaust time in the pocket to allow his receivers to get open downfield. 68.5% completion percentage over his last 10 games. That's up about 4 percentage points from his regular season averages. 271 yards per game through the air during that span. Really making good decisions with the football. 23 touchdowns to 3 picks and a quarterback rating excellent at 111.3. Love was so good against Dallas, but the Cowboys' defensive scheme was dreadful on Sunday. Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn coaches, though he had 1 foot out the door, ready to get that Seahawks head coaching job, but is Seattle confident in making him the head coach to take over for Pete Carroll after seeing that Dallas defensive collapse? They had defensive backs playing way off the line of scrimmage. They had undersized defensive backs playing linebacker roles, and the Packers in turn ran it successfully. They threw it successfully. Explosive plays with guys wide open. Deep downfield. They are excellent in the red zone. And on the Packers' first 8 drives of the game, they scored 7 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy. San Francisco's guide for success defensively, in my estimation, Matt LaFleur, like Kyle Shanahan. Creative play caller, creative play designer. Don't get baited by some of the pre-snap, post-snap wrinkles that Matt LaFleur includes in that Packers offense. Against Jordan Love, he can get out of the pocket. He's pretty mobile. When the pocket breaks down, he can run because he is athletic enough and quick enough to do that. So San Francisco has to have disciplined pass rush lanes. Keep them inside the pocket. Dallas didn't do that. So he got out to the right. He got out to the left. And because he can drop down to multiple arm angles and has the arm strength to pick you apart from sideline to sideline and vertical, the Cowboys didn't have disciplined pass rush lanes, and they got burnt because of it. This Packers team, good at running the football. Matt LaFleur, good at scheming guys open so that they can pick up yards after the catch in vacant areas of the defense. So the Niners are going to have to tackle, which they've struggled with all year. They're going to have to defend the run. If they can't defend the run, opens up the play-action pass, which the Packers like to do a lot of. You have to generate pressure on Love. If he has all day to survey the field, he's going to be able to find his weapons. And 23 touchdowns, 3 picks over his last 10 games. Can this experienced Niners team, led by Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead coming back, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Deshaun Gibson, Mooney Ward, and the crew, can they force Jordan Love into mistakes? Because mistakes can turn a playoff game. As for Brock Purdy and how he compares against Jordan Love, completion percentage is better. Yards per game is better. He's thrown 2 less touchdowns, but he's thrown 7 more interceptions. And his quarterback rating also damn good at 113.7. If Brock Purdy doesn't press, if Brock Purdy is able to manage the game, if Brock Purdy doesn't force the issue, lets the game come to him, and if the Niners can play from ahead, that's a recipe for success for this Niners offense. Here is San Francisco's guide for success on the offensive side of the football. Can't turn the football over. If you do that, especially if you give the Packers the ball at around midfield, they're going to make you pay like they did against Dallas. 2 picks against Dak Prescott. One of them was a pick 6, and they took over a couple of times in opportune field position because that Packers offense just couldn't do anything, or that Cowboys offense, couldn't do anything consistently. Packers defensive line, pretty solid unit. They're going to load up the left side of the defensive line, right side of the Niners offensive line against Colton McKivitz. And if Colton McKivitz cannot hold up in pass protection, it's going to be a long day if Brock Purdy doesn't have time to survey the field and pick apart that Packers secondary. For Purdy, do not force it. And the rust issue could be a little bit of an issue. And that's why I want to see Kyle Shanahan come up with an excellent game plan that also features a balanced attack. Don't put too much on the plate of Brock Purdy. Run it with Christian McCaffrey. You throw it when you need to with Purdy, and you're able to slice the Packers up in a variety of ways, keep them on their heels, and keep them guessing throughout the duration of the night. The Cowboys' offense, so predictable. You knew that they were going to go run, pass as far as their 3-down sequence. They literally did it. And that was the biggest fear for some of the Cowboys fans here at the office. And you knew that Dak Prescott was going to drop back, and he was looking for CeeDee Lamb. And what happened when he tried to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb? Picked. So that Cowboys offense predictable. This Niners offense usually, when they're playing at their level and their standard, not predictable and very creative. Before we hop on out of here, please give me a follow on X. Give me a follow on Instagram. The handle is the same on both platforms. It's at Chase_Senior, closing in on 10,000 followers here. We need more people from the faithful to shout me out there. And then on Instagram, my Instagram Reels have been popping. I'm putting out Niners videos every single day, short form content there in addition to YouTube Shorts. So give me a follow there so you can stay in the know with all things Niners every single day, year round.